Good evening and welcome to Universal Spiritualism, and we're on online live psychic readings tonight with Nico, who is giving us a demonstration of trance mediumship. Nico has already gone into trance, so I'll just say a few hellos to people. I can see there's a few people on already, even though you're not commenting. So just to explain a little about this evening. Nico will come on screen, and as I say, he's already in trance, so his guides and inspirers, who collectively are known as Noah, will come through. They usually give us a few words of inspirational talks and philosophy, and then we open up to questions. As we open up to questions, I would recommend that you just keep commenting in the comments, because I don't always get the chance to go up and down, because I will be doing the admin myself, as well as staying on screen to read out the comments to Noah and Nico. Okay, so hello to Jody, to Angel, to Anne-Maria, hi, and let me introduce Nico and his guides. Good evening.
Good evening,
Noah.
my dear one. And greetings to all who have joined us this evening. It is truly an honor to connect with each of you in your essence. A beautiful and powerful collective of energy. I wish to say a few words pertaining to fear. For this is an underlining common thread with all of you. What is fear, my dear ones? Fear of the unknown, fear in belief, fear of self. Allow me for a moment to take your memories back to when you were children. The comfort of your mother's embrace, the familiarity of her essence, her smell, the feeling of safety. And then, alas, the first day of school, the detachment, as your mother walked away and left you alone. That fear, my dear ones, of the detachment unnerved each of you, for the sense of security was taken away. Now, as everything else, you've learned to adapt. As the years went by, you didn't seek the safety, companionship of your mother as much. You learned your independence. Other things feared you. Now that you are all grown adults, there is still fear. This fear you experience now in your lives, as each of you have come across a crossroads, if you will. This fear, my dear ones, pertains to the detachment still. Not a detachment of a physical connection, but the detachment of your essence, your detachment to our realm. For when one truly connects, truly understands their place in our realm, truly feels their essence, feels the essence of wonderful spirits who are assisting them, there is never any fear. There was never any doubt. There was never low self-esteem. There was only clarity, love, encouragement, courage, and safety. Ironically, my dear ones, all which you felt as the child with your mother. I thank you, my dear one. We may open for discussions and questions.
Thank you. We have Alicia Hope saying, hello, Nico. Would love a reading from you.
Ah, yes, my dear. As my words spoken, my dear, also reflect you. Fear, confusion, worries. And then more worries and more worries. Questioning outcomes, questioning purpose, questioning people. My dear one, do you ever question self? Not the one in physical form, my dear. But do you ever question your essence? I understand you question your purpose, but do you question your essence? This, my dear, is where my advice would be for you to begin. Do not continue to navigate through your world, the jungles of your world, my dear. For as you have grown accustomed, you recognize there is a maze. And as you thought you found the way out, you stumble across another wall and seek another path. This is, my dear, due to your environment. But sit in your silence, my dear, no distraction, as there is much noise around you. Find the quiet and find your essence. And much more will make sense to you, my dear. You will be able to find your way out of the maze much quicker. Trust yourself, my dear. Trust your essence. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Marianne Harris said, I heard my name spoken in my ear a couple of nights ago. Which past loved one was this from, please? And what do I need to know?
Ah, my dear one, why do you assume it is from a lost loved one? Perhaps, my dear, it is those beautiful soul essences who are working with you. Perhaps, my dear, they are tweaking, if you will, your awareness to them. For the essence of lost loved ones who come through and assist is more, my dear, for your comfort, the familiarity of their essence, to make you less fearful. But yes, my dear, you have quite a powerful band of spirits who are assisting you, and yet you are still unaware of them. Listen carefully, my dear, as they speak. Then you will be able to feel their essence and trust. For all in your world, my dear, once they connect to those who are assisting them, learn the true journey, the path, what they are meant to achieve, how they are meant to assist both realms. You have a strong concept of our realm, my dear. You do possess the ability to connect, to learn, to accept. I would suggest to begin there, my dear. But it is not just one message from one lost loved one. It is much more for you to receive, my dear one. Trust in that and ask them. Speak to them. And listen for the answer. And you will be just as marveled in what you receive as you were when you heard your name spoken. It's a beautiful journey, my dear. Trust it and enjoy it. And much shall transpire. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Jodie Jenkins asks, is imagining the same as visioning?
Is imagining the same as envisioning? Oh, my dear, ask yourself, who is imagining? Is this not your mind? Is it not your perception? Is it not the illusion your mind creates in the world you live? Is it not based on teachings, entertainment, the creative imagination of the child? And what is a vision, my dear? A vision is a remembrance. A vision is a knowing. A vision is not created of the mind. A vision is instilled within the essence. It has meaning, substance, perhaps of a different time, perhaps of your current situation, perhaps even a glimpse of your future. To understand the difference of the two, my dear, ask yourself, between the two, which one resonates the strongest in your heart? You will feel the pull in the heart, the warmth in the heart. One will feel much more real than the other. And that, my dear, is how you distinguish the difference of the two. My advice to you would be, do not always trust and rely on the mind. Follow the heart, my dear. For the heart is the essence and is the light to the tunnel on your journey. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Angel asks, what do I have to do to hear Spirit, please? Do I have any blocks? Thank you.
My dear one, the answer to this question is in two parts. The distractions, my dear. Are you alone? Is it quiet? Are there disturbances? Are you comfortable? This, my dear, is quite important to begin. The second portion, my dear, is your mind. You are expecting. You are waiting for specifics. You yourself have already drawn out the map. And you are waiting for this communication to occur precisely as you had planned it. There are no expectations, my dear one. Do not create the scenario of your mind. Find your comfort, no distractions, complete silence, my dear, where only you hear your breath. And then allow your mind to wander away, my dear one. Though many thoughts occur in your mind, accept them and release them. Do not ponder them. For thoughts, my dear, are also a distraction, not only noise. And once, my dear, you are in complete silence, listening to your breath, then trust. Trust, my dear, and open your heart. And I assure you the connection will be made. It is subtle, my dear, in the beginning. As subtle as seeing, noticing the signs, as a butterfly appearing. More often than not, my dear, you do not notice the butterfly. The same, my dear, with the connection. It is subtle. Trust in it. And do not place so much pressure on yourself. And of course, my dear, do not have any expectations. And I assure you, my dear, you will unblock this block you mentioned. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Maxine asks, one of my guides I call great-grandfather, was he a medicine man? Does he give me help and advice on natural indigenous healing plants?
My dear, you offered the name. You are asking because you already know the answer, my dear one. This is a knowing, my dear. You've received a vision. A knowing, my dear. A remembrance. As spoken earlier, is much more powerful than a thought. You are accurate, my dear. For you have been revealed the identity and the purpose. But the assistance you place limitations on. There is much more assistance being provided, my dear. You understanding the clarity of the message of the remembrance is one. Continue to trust in what you receive, my dear. Do not question it. Do not ask questions of it. For then you are creating an inner battle within yourself, questioning what is reality. Trust it, my dear, as you feel him, as you feel the essence. When you receive this knowing, my dear, focus on what you feel. It is the same as his essence. It is true. All remembrance, my dear, all knowing, also come with a feeling. This will differentiate your mind from feeling it, from trusting it. As you receive this knowledge, pause for a moment, my dear, and focus on the energy to feel the essence. You do not only, my dear, feel the essence when you focus on the spirit in here, but the essence is also in the remembrance. This is how we assist for you to trust and believe in what you receive. Speak to him, my dear one. Ask him these questions. and notice what you feel in return. Through the feeling, more clarity is received, more visions, more remembrance. And most importantly, my dear, the connection becomes even stronger. I trust you understand what I'm saying. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Nikki Owen asks, do we ask questions? And if so, what type, please? As not seen anything like this before.
My dear, asking questions to whom? To me? Or to those near you? Either one, my dear, is the same. She mentioned she has never seen this before. And yet, my dear, just in that statement alone, you're revealing the level of your trust. It is not merely, my dear, a matter of asking questions, for I am not providing you anything you do not already know. You are an essence in our realm, my dear, as are we. All energy, all love, wisdom, intelligence, compassion, my dear. Connection is merely of love and trust. There is no need for questions, as you are able to feel our essence in your heart as I speak. This connection, my dear, is always present. One needs not to see to believe. It is already inside of you. You feel it, my dear. If you were not connected to our realm, you would not be able to love in yours. Trust that, my dear. For within the heart, amongst the love, are all the answers to all of your questions. Trust in that and allow your belief to broaden, my dear. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Karen Berry asks, if I do as guided and sit quietly as I go through life changes, it feels as though I am burying my head in the sand? Question mark.
Yes, my dear, two parts to the same question. You mentioned sitting in your silence, followed by the turmoil you face in your realm. I ask you, my dear one, how can you truly sit in silence if your mind is on your current status in your realm? It is not silent, my dear, when your mind is still preoccupied with fear, when you are still worrying about your current status and questioning your next move. Your fear, my dear, is not of our realm. Your fear is of yourself. The lack of courage, the lack of belief in yourself, the fear of what is to come if you make drastic changes. Changes, my dear, that you feel deep within your heart need to be made. And yet, there is still hesitation, and that is the fear. So I ask you, my dear one, how can you sit in silence then trust. If you have difficulty trusting yourself first, this is why, my dear, you feel as if your head is in the sand. Trust in yourself, my dear. Not the one you view in your reflection, but trust your essence in our realm. For your essence, my dear, does not possess fear, does not question outcomes, is only of love, and quite courageous, if I may add. But, my dear, at this time, on this physical journey of yours, the lesson, quite important for you to learn, is not why you cannot sit in the silence and connect. The lesson for you, my dear, is why do you fear so of yourself? This is the question to ask yourself. For once, my dear, you accept the answer, as I am certain you have heard the answer a few times. But when you truly accept the answer, my dear, and allow the changes to be made, I assure you, the connection to our realm will open. Your heart will relax. Your courage come back to you as your self-esteem. And you will flourish, my dear, in your realm as you flourish in ours. Lastly, my dear, understand this. You are living a physical life as a polar opposite of your essence in our realm. And ask yourself, my dear, why? For there are major lessons to learn through your difficulties, which only assist in the growth of your essence here. So be proud, my dear, where you may see a difficult journey. It is quite a courageous one you have been on. Admirable, my dear. And you should be proud of yourself as we are proud of you. Enjoy it, my dear. Enjoy this lesson. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Marianne Harris says, in 2010, a demon was sent to me and harmed my third eye area. Did Archangel Michael take this demon away? Thank you.
My dear one, ask yourself, my dear, what is an illusion and what is a reality? How are you certain, my dear, what you received? You claim it is the third eye. How much of that, my dear, was your thought, was your mind? And why, my dear, did this occur such a long time ago in your realm and has not returned since? Ask yourself first, my dear one, what changes occurred to you over these 14 years? You speak of Archangel Michael. Why? When did you start believing, my dear? It may be ironic, my dear, that once your thoughts went to the protection of Archangel Michael, your thoughts did not create this illusion again. As spoken earlier, my dear one, the mind in your realm is a major deterrent. Your mind creates illusions based on the teachings of your realm. Who's to say, my dear, the teachings are accurate? Who is questioning the professor offering these teachings? Who's researching their words? What is fact and fiction, my dear? My advice would be, do not worry of episodes from the past. View them, my dear, as a gift. For the occurrence, though an illusion, feared you enough that you began to trust and believe. Continue to believe, my dear. Continue to speak out and reach to Archangel Michael. For if he was your protector once, my dear, he is surely still your protector. But more so than a protector, my dear one, he is your guidance to our realm. Open your heart, my dear, and accept, believe, and trust that not everything you perceive in your reality is real, my dear. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Jodie, I'll ask your second question because of the nature of your first one. And I think the answer may cover both. Who decides what is taught?
In which realm, my dear? In your realm?
I presume she means in our
Yes,
realm.
my dear. Yes, my dear one. Teachings, my dear, have always been misconstrued in your realm. For even the ascended masters who walked a physical journey, who preached the word of our realm, of the connection, of the love, of the trust, of the self. Even their words, my dear, have been translated in different languages, but all misconstrued into another's interpretation of it. And therefore, my dear, they rely as teachings. Part of the journey in physical form is to receive these teachings, for it provides the journey a more difficult one, more confusion, questioning what is the truth. This, my dear, occurs for a specific reason, for your essence to trust itself. How many times, my dear one, have you heard the teachings of a mentor, and not all words resonated with your essence? The essence, our realm, the beautiful spirit essences who are assisting you, These, my dear, are your greatest teachers. They only speak the truth. They only provide their teachings with love. There is no ego, my dear. How many of your professors also display their ego? The answer to your question, my dear, is in your realm. Anyone can offer teachings, for all of you possess the ego. But it is up to you, my dear, to ask yourself, who would you rather learn from? Which realm would you rather trust? And follow your intuition, my dear. And if, my dear, you are seeking someone to teach you to access the connection to our realm, there are a few who reside in yours, my dear, who teach from the heart and not of the ego. And you will come across them, my dear, as you feel their essence, generosity, compassion, and the desire to assist. But also, my dear, listen to their words, for they will echo the words I spoke of: love, trust, self, and they will steer away from ego. This is how you'll be able to select the correct ones for your journey. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Rare says, will I receive a job offer this month? What energies are out there for me about work? Thank you.
My dear, I am grateful that you use the word energy. I am also grateful, my dear, on how you use the word. The energy out there. You see, my dear one, you are aware of energy, but you are misled to believe it is external. Many in your realm, my dear, understand the concept that energy is everywhere. All are made of energy, and energy is connected. But many also in your realm, my dear, perceive it as an external phenomenon. And they suffer illnesses. They struggle financially. They question and worry of outcomes. But your own energy, my dear, the energy of your essence, is directly connected to our realm. Why not, my dear, focus on your own energy? Why not learn to manipulate it and project it outwardly with positive intentions and love? Allow me, my dear, to simplify this for you. You are seeking employment, and you come across your employer. As he is reading, my dear, of your history, what do you think he is feeling, my dear? What energy from you is he feeling? Is he feeling your worries, your doubt, the low self-esteem? For you are not projecting your energy outwardly. You are not confident. You are not portraying your love within. And you are, my dear, not allowing your essence, the power of your essence, to shine through. How would he respond? Would he offer you the employment? And now, my dear, the same question. If you are focusing on your energy, connecting to self, allowing the vibrational frequency to rise as it is intended to do so, be one of love. And then, my dear, you sit across this gentleman. Now, what do you think he feels? The room, my dear, illuminates with your essence. Your energy surrounds him. He feels a sense of love and comfort. I assure you, my dear one, there will be no hesitation on his part to offer you the position. So it is not, my dear, a matter of asking our world to offer you the outcome. For you are the only one, my dear, capable of altering any outcome. The same with illnesses. The one who is ill, who is suffering, who is doubting and afraid. Where is their energy? Are they connecting to self in our realm to heal themselves? Are they portraying their love and their power to overcome this ailment? Or are they allowing this ailment, the energy of the illness, to overtake them? Trust, my dear, you possess the power to manifest any outcome you wish in your realm. But it is never of the mind. Find your essence, my dear. Find your energy. And then you will find your power source. And project that power source into your realm. And I assure you, my dear, your manifestations will all come to fruition. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Stacey Spark, as I have been blessed to feel the true strength of love from Spirit. It is such a shame that human love is weak in comparison.
Yes, my dear, I understand your sentiment. But understand, my dear one, your realm is a journey. Those, my dear, who have difficulty expressing their love also have difficulty loving themselves. Trust, my dear, it occurs for a reason. It occurs for their development, for their growth. It is not, my dear, a matter of you feeling blessed for receiving and accepting and understanding the love of our realm. It is more, my dear, what you are going to do with that love. How do you project it into your realm? And how do you, for your own personal journey, use this new awareness of love to seek your essence, to connect with your essence, to allow your essence to develop by the mere fact that you are able to recognize and connect with it in physical form. There is a great lesson within that, my dear, which offers your essence in our realm much growth, much ascension. And how, my dear, you ask, do you seek your essence? By utilizing this newfound love you've received from our realm to be more of your essence through your physical form to your world. And then, my dear, even those who you perceive have hardened hearts will begin to show signs of love. Not through your words, my dear, but through your loving actions, through your loving essence, through the love emitting through your eyes. This is the journey, my dear. You shall understand it more so the more you accept and portray that love through your actions, through your words, through your compassion, through your patience, rather than view them as one without love. Be compassionate toward them, my dear, and patient, and offer them yours. A slight adjustment, but quite powerful. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And following on from that, we have Joanne Lewis saying, I've always believed we need to love ourselves is important. I was told the other day that that was a load of rubbish. What is your truth on this?
My dear one, ask yourself who offered these words to you. How do they feel with love? What are their beliefs? What are their struggles? Are they false prophets? Do they have a powerful ego? Are they afraid? Your belief, your intuition, is because you are of love. Your heart, your instinct is your essence, which is of love. The one, my dear, the naysayer who approached you, as soon as their physical journey is over, they will realize the mistakes in their teachings, for they will be reminded once more that they are love as they reconnect in our realm to their essence. Yes, you are of love. Consider now for a moment that all in your realm remember their essence. Remember they are of love. And as the dear one prior mentioned, receiving the love of our realm, imagine all in your realm, my dear, understood the unconditional love, the abundance of love not always felt in your realm. Now let's go further and imagine that all in your realm projected that love to one another. What type of world would you be living in then? That reality is what our realm is like. So do not listen, as mentioned earlier. Be cautious of the teachers, the false prophets, their words that discourage you. For if you feel it strongly in your heart, then believe it is true. And as you were certain, upon hearing his words, that it did not resonate with how you felt, you can also be certain that these words spoken are not accurate. But rather than getting upset, annoyed, quarreling, take a moment and observe the one who spoke them. Understand why they are struggling at this time and what their journey is, what lessons are in store for them. And rather than responding negatively, open your heart and respond with love. Oh, yes, you may be ridiculed. Yes, he may begin to quarrel. Smile, offer your love, and walk away. For you remain true to your essence, true to your words, and true to your love. And he, now, let us say that he received something in that moment, a seed planted, if you will, which will assist him on his journey, or she. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for coming and listening and giving your questions this evening. As always, I give Noah the opportunity to give us some final few words before we finish. So over to you, Noah. Thank you.
Much appreciated, my dear one. And to all who are listening, I'm grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for your questions. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to explain a bit in hopes that clarity sets in. And most of all, I wish my words eased your fears. For as spoken earlier, my dear ones, fear is created in your realm and remains in your realm. So when one understands they are truly an essence in ours, one understands that your journey there is temporary, and that the fear you face and endure is left there in that realm. One can only hope that with that wisdom, the fear is lessened, the confidence restored, the belief in self powerful, and that love flows freely through your essence, through the connection to essence in both realms. And then, my dear, your journey becomes even clearer. You feel safer, protected, and loved. And as mentioned earlier, when you are ready, when you do trust, you will indeed receive the love of our realm, unmatched to any great love you experienced in yours. Much gratitude and respect to all. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Noah. And if it's okay for Nico to stay in trance with you, I'll just finish off here and I'll take you off stream. Thank you so much again. Okay, everyone, that's our session finished tonight. Nico will be back at his usual time at 9 o'clock next Sunday, where we will be doing trance mediumship again. Have a think through the week of the questions that perhaps you would like to have Noah answer for you, and pop on next week with those questions, and hopefully we'll be able to get to your questions and give you the answers that you need. Okay, thank you again for joining us, and have a lovely evening. Bless you.